Welcome to the Daniel Sauls Show, the greatest sports podcast on the planet, exclusively on YouTube. And before this video starts, please make sure you go hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so you get notified after every video that I post, because you are about to witness greatness and you're not going to want to miss this or my future videos to come. So the Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson fight could potentially happen during the time span of July through September of this year. I know they're not going to want to wait till next year, probably not towards the end of the year, but they called each other out a couple of times. Ryan called him out a week before his fight against Barrios. He has had interactions with him on Inside the Ring, with Max Kellerman, Mike Coppinger, all of them. So this fight is realistically probably going to happen between July through September. I know that Ryan Garcia suffered a hand injury in this fight against Barrios. He had a right hand injury that he's complaining about. He said he wanted to heal, and then once he is healed, he can go into the fight and start negotiating, really trying to get this fight to happen and then start training camp. So I'm realistically looking at this fight going from July probably to September. I think that would be a good range of when the fight date is going to be. And so I'm probably going to expect that in a few months for them to announce when the fight date's going to be. So that gives Ryan time to heal. And then for both, parties to, start their training camp, have 2-3 months for a training camp. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. They've called each other out plenty of times. Ryan has called out Shakur week before the Mario Barrios fight. They've had interactions in the past this year, and I'm pretty sure last year. One this year, Inside the Ring. Okay, Shakur Stevenson was a guest on Inside the Ring, and Ryan Garcia was one of the people at the broadcast desk. Ryan, like I said, Ryan has been calling out Shakur a lot more. And I think that's due to Shakur's recent marketability. Okay, he is now marketable in the boxing realm. Because before, he was a great talent, but just not a big name. So the reality was, Ryan probably looking at it, thinking, well, high risk and low reward. I'm not going to be getting paid the money I want to, not enough recognition, and I could potentially probably lose this fight, and that's not going to look good on my resume. So now that he's marketable after the Zepeda fight and then the Teofimo Lopez fight, Ryan's definitely looking at Shakur Stevenson and like, this is going to be a mega main event, just like how the Tank Davis fight was. And that's all thanks to Shakur Stevenson's performances, like I just said, against Teofimo, Zepeda. It gave him the respect in the boxing world, and that's good for him because now he's going to be getting these big main events, like big mega main events, that he's going to be getting paid a lot more money than what he used to. Even though he was getting paid pretty well, he's going to be getting paid better now. If you look at their past two fights, okay, first I'm going to go to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur versus Teo, right? If I had to grade Shakur's performance, I would grade it an A. Not an A+, not an A-, just an A. Shakur won that fight perfectly, outside of stopping him. Shakur's team knows it, Shakur knows it, and if we're going to be really honest, Teofimo knows it. Teo knows he should have got stopped that night, because that wasn't a good performance by Teo. Shakur Stevenson took everything from Teofimo Lopez that night. Shakur Stevenson put on the best performance of his career, without a doubt. And he put on a show, a masterclass that, it was almost like it was something I had never seen before. Like Shakur Stevenson was known as just a defensive boxer. He goes against Zepeda, and he looked more offensive, not really much defensive. He was getting caught with shots. He was staying in the pocket. He was throwing hard punches to try and knock Zepeda out or knock him down. And then when you look at the Teo fight, not only was he doing that, but he stuck to his roots. He went back to the roots. Defensive and offensive. There was nothing Teofimo Lopez could do to Shakur Stevenson. He had nothing for Shakur in that fight. And so, outside of Shakur not being able to stop him, it was a perfect performance. It was an A-plus performance. I just feel like he should have got the stoppage. Because if he would have thrown more combinations, more combinations, he'd have won the fight. He'd have won the fight. Instead of throwing a 2 or 3 piece combination, throw a 4, 5, or 6 piece combination. Get him off guard, use your speed and timing, hit him on the button, and he's out of there. If he would have got knocked down late in the rounds, I don't know if they would have let it continue. I mean, he was getting picked apart horribly. And that was just a perfect masterclass, like I said before. Shakur used his jab flawlessly. Timing was impeccable. He has the best timing in boxing. He has the best jab in boxing. He's the best pure boxer in boxing. And if we're going to look at it seriously, he's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Shakur Stevenson is that guy. Now, when you look at Ryan versus Barrios, I'll give Ryan a grade A- because there's more than just one thing I can really look at and pinpoint and say, well, this needs to happen, or this needed to happen, or that needed to be fixed, and it can be fixed. And with that being said, the first thing is he should have got the stoppage as well, because both of these fights were just domination. I mean, one-sided affair. This was nothing either opponent could have done to even get more than 3 rounds won in this fight. Either one of them. I mean, Tio was... It didn't look like Tio. And Barrios was basically a punching bag who had 2 good moments in the fight. And for the other long moments of the 12 rounds, he was basically just a punching bag that looked shell-shocked, and he didn't know what to do. Now, Ryan should have got the stoppage in this fight. Here's why. He dropped Barrios in less than 30 seconds to start the fight. Less than 30 seconds. I don't think anybody who watches boxing or who watches Ryan truly believed that he would have got a knockdown in the first round, let alone less than 30 seconds into the fight. That was just extraordinary. I mean, Garcia set the tone from the jump. He was locked in before the bell even rung. They touched gloves in the middle of the ring, went to their corners, and Ryan was already in his stance. His eyes, he was so locked in. Barrios was sitting there jumping up and down, doing a whole bunch of stuff, turned around, and then as soon as the bell rang, he turned back around and was ready to fight. No, Ryan was ready from the jump. He was locked in. He was spot on when he said this training camp, this was different. He has never been this motivated, dedicated to win a fight. And you know why? Because his career was on the line. His boxing career was on the line. The man streaming on the side. He just had a no contest against Devin Haney, which was his best performance. He lost to Tank Davis. He barely beat Oscar Duarte. He loses to Rolly Romero. It hasn't been good for him in the past 3 or 4 years. Hasn't been looking good for him. This was his career-defining moment. Do or die. And he lived in the moment. And he took advantage of it. He is now the WBC welterweight champion of the world. The welterweight champions of the world, I think he's the best one out of all of them. He beat Devin Haney already. I don't care what the no contest says. He beat Devin Haney fair and square. He beat Devin Haney. And Devin Haney beat Brian Orman Jr. Brian Orman Jr. was the champion of the world in that weight for that belt. Devin took it. Rolly Romero did beat Ryan, but styles make fights. Rolly Romero's not better than Devin, and Devin lost to Ryan. So to me, I still think Ryan's a better fighter than Rolly. I just don't think their styles are good for each other. So all in all, when you look at this fight, he should have got the stoppage. And on top of that, his footwork was pretty bad. Ryan Garcia looked like he was bolted on the canvas. I mean, his feet looked bolted on the canvas. And it wasn't that he wasn't moving around, because he was. It was when he would go and stand in the pocket and try to exchange shots, And then once he was done shooting his shots, he barely moved. He's flat-footed, okay? It looks like he's stuck in quicksand. It's like he can't get on the balls of his feet. He looks like he's just so damn flat-footed. And that's not going to work against a fighter like Shakur Stevenson. Maybe against Barrios, but not Shakur. So if he wants to really have a good shot at winning against Shakur or Devin, he needs to get better footwork, because he used to have better footwork than this. It was still kind of flat-footed, but he looked bolted to the ground. If y'all don't believe me, go back and look at that fight and watch when he would exchange and watch when he would be done exchanging and he would try and move around. He just looked so flat-footed. I mean, it was just horrendous. It was terrible. But other than that, he lost the last 2 rounds to me. I don't think he won those 2 rounds. I had it a shutout from round 1 to round 10. 11 and 12 were really close. Barrios kind of jumped on him in a few moments, which I thought may have stole the round. I'm not saying that Ryan definitely lost those 2 rounds, but you could have given those last 2 rounds to Barrios, because Garcia tremendously, he took his feet off the gas. He slowed down tremendously. It didn't look good. And other than that, I mean, the stoppage, he should have got it. The footwork needs to be fixed. And then he slowed down in the championship rounds. You can't do that against a fighter like Shakur. I think he did that on purpose against Barrios to play it safe. He didn't want to go all out and try and get the knockout and get caught, and then he gets knocked out, because he had to respect Barrios' power. Barrios is a bigger guy. He's been at the welterweight division for quite some time. We got to give him credit for that. And he's a championship fighter. He's a champion, or he was a champion. He will always be a champion, so you got to give him that love and credit and respect in the ring as well. Especially when you're fighting for a world title, you have to be cautious with certain things and be smart. And I think he was really smart in that regard. But against Shakur, the fight's going to be a lot closer than that, so he's going to have to win those championship rounds. But now we're going to go into the fight. Ryan versus Shakur. Let's look at them side by side. So when you look at their height, reach, and everything, their age, all of it, there's no real advantages. Ryan Garcia is, he's got slight advantages. A little bit younger, a little longer of a reach, an inch taller. No real big advantages here that really matter. I mean, against Barrios, he was the way smaller guy to me, and yet it didn't matter. He was the stronger guy. He was the faster guy. He was the better boxer. He performed lights out. And Shakur Stevenson, their whole thing was he's coming up from 135 to 140. The power is going to be a huge thing. They were worried about T.O.'s power. T.O.'s the bigger guy. Shakur looked like the bigger guy, and Shakur looked stronger and faster with better timing. So bigger doesn't necessarily mean better in this aspect. And look, Shakur has many options, okay? I have on the screen 10 seriously potential fights for Shakur Stevenson in the next coming years. So obviously, I have number 1, Garcia is the best fight for Shakur Stevenson. I think that's the best fight. I'm going to get to the breakdown of this fight in just a few minutes. Number 2, I really have Conor Benn. Conor Benn recently just left Matchroom Boxing and joined Zuffa Boxing, which is a boxing league by Dana White. So I don't know how that's going to play a factor in this fight. I don't know if that fight is still going to be able to be made because of the move from Conor Benn to go to Zuffa Boxing. But if it does happen, it would be a 147 with the rehydration clause set on Conor Benn. That's the only way Shakur is willing to fight that fight. But overall, Conor Benn got in the ring after Shakur's win over T.O. Seems like they really want to make that fight happen. That's a big 5-star fight. And then Devin Haney. I don't think Devin Haney wants it, though. That would be a 147 with a rehydration clause. That's not a fight I don't think Devin and his dad want. Shakur's a better boxer, but overall, it would make big numbers. It would do big numbers. They'd make a lot of money. They'd sell out the fight. People would be watching it on streaming, on DAZN. It would be a big fight in total. On paper, it's a great fight. Devin Haney's a big matchup. That's a 5-star as well, same as Ryan and Conor. Then, one of my personal favorites, Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is a good fighter. He fought Gervonta Tank Davis. He got robbed. Everyone knows it. Lamont Roach is a really strong boxer. He's very underrated with his power, but he's a good boxer. pure boxer actually, who has power. So it could potentially give Shakur Stevenson some trouble, and he doesn't have to fight at 147 for that, because you got to remember, Lamont Roach going into the Tank fight was a 130 champion. So realistically, now he could fight at 130, 135, and 140, because his last fight was at 140. So if you look at it, Lamont Roach could fight from 130 to 140, and if Shakur is a 135 fighter, the fight could either be at 135 or 40, whatever one Shakur is willing to do it at. He said he would go to either one. It doesn't matter. Everybody's wanting the Morataya fight. I don't care about Morataya. I don't care about that fight. That fight does not interest me whatsoever. I don't think it's a big fight. So in the end of the day, I don't think that's a big fight. It would be at 135. I think it would be pretty easy. But that's just another one I would say. That's probably a 3-star for me. I don't really like it. O'Shaquie Foster. Look, great boxer. It would be at 135. O'Shaquie Foster is a good fighter. I saw him got robbed by, I think it was Conceição. Great fighter, great pure boxer. 2 pure boxers in the ring, same as if Shakur fought Devin. It'd be a great fight, but I still have Shakur. I'd have Shakur beating all these guys, really. The only one I'm really kind of shaking on is the first 3, Haney, Garcia, and Ben. Other than that, Roach is probably the best option in terms of competition. The rest of these guys, like Floyd Schofield, pulled out the last fight he had with Shakur. I like Frank Martin a lot, but his last performance in the undercard against Ryan and Barrios really showed me that he can't last a lot of rounds. He's really like an 8-round fighter, and it showed in the Tank fight. He beat Tank Davis for like 6 out of the 8 rounds, and I'm pretty sure he got dropped in the 9th or 10th round. Like, he gets gassed too easily. He's an 8-round fighter. He needs to get more experience, but if he does, later down the line, that'd be a good fight for Shakur. And I have Abdullah Mason, and then if Gervonta Davis wants to get out of his house and off his couch and stop, doing some bad things that I won't say on the show, maybe the fight will happen. He's still the WBA lightweight champion of the world, so we'll see if that fight can happen. That'd be a big fight, but I put it at the bottom because Gervonta is unreliable. People are probably thinking, why is Ryan trying to fight Shakur? Go after Devin. Or maybe rematch Rolly. This post says, and I quote, #respectfully, a 147 unification fight between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia makes way more sense than Ryan fighting Shakur Stevenson. So here's the thing. I completely understand where these people are coming from. I can absolutely understand. Okay? And the thing is, this is where I disagree. Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia are both coming off of, within the same month, 2 one-sided, dominating performances. Career-defining performances. Shakur proved he's not a boring fighter, and Ryan saved his freaking career. If Ryan Garcia chooses to fight Devin and not Shakur, and loses to Devin, why would the Shakur fight be interesting anymore? Because Shakur's a better boxer than Devin, so it wouldn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense for Ryan to go fight Devin before Shakur. Because let's just say Ryan fights Shakur before Devin, right? And let's just say Ryan loses. There's still a storyline between Ryan and Devin. So regardless of the outcome between Ryan and Shakur, Ryan will still always have that Devin Haney fight, which he was saying to Mike Coppinger in an interview a week before the fight against Barrios. The Devin Haney fight's always going to be there. Everybody just wants to see it. They want to hurry up and see it because Ryan Garcia is coming off this great performance, and Devin Haney came off a mediocre, really boring performance against the guy on the Times Square card, and then fights Brian Orman Jr., knocks him down, and then was boring for the rest of the fight. But if you really look at it, Ryan Garcia and Shakur Stevenson are coming off 2 one-sided affair dominating performances. It would make sense to have them clash now, have them fight now. That way, regardless of the outcome, both of them could still go and fight big fighters. If you wait for this fight, it doesn't make any sense Because as soon as Ryan loses to Devin, they're going to talk about Devin and Shakur fighting. They're not going to talk about Ryan and Shakur fight. No one's going to want to see Ryan versus Shakur because they're going to know what the outcome's going to be. If Shakur and Ryan fight, there's always going to be that Devin Haney fight. That could end up being a trilogy also. Why rush the Haney fight when you can get the Shakur fight and the Haney fight? You can't do it backwards. That doesn't make any sense. There's a storyline with Devin. There is no storyline with Shakur. It doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense to put them in the ring as soon as possible, considering the fact that, like I just said multiple times, he just came off of career-defining, dominating performances, one-sided affairs that no one expected to happen, both in which they won world titles. You cannot get better than that. That is perfect. Perfect for right now. So that's why I think Ryan should fight Shakur. Now, looking at this fight, analyzing it, it can go one of two ways. And these are the two outcomes that I have come up with. First, Shakur Stevenson is the better boxer. Everyone knows that. He is pound for pound the best boxer in the world, I believe, if not number 2 or 3. No lower than 3. No questions asked. He is the best pure boxer in the sport. No debate. He's the best pure boxer in the sport. Has the best timing, best jab, quick. He's got respectable power, not knockout power, but enough power to keep you away. He's got speed. He's got everything he needs. Great footwork. Overall, total great boxer. Ryan Garcia goes in there. Oh, it does the same thing he did to Devin Haney. Or Ryan can go in there and Shakur Stevenson will just do everything he did to Teofimo Lopez. But still no stoppage. So either Ryan Garcia wins off knockout or stoppage, any type of stoppage, or Shakur wins off points. Because Shakur Stevenson will outbox Ryan Garcia. I honestly see it going the same exact way the first Ryan and Devin fight went. I see it the same exact way. Shakur wins all the other rounds except the ones he got knocked down in. That's how I see it. Because that's exactly what happened with the Devin fight. Devin was winning every round he didn't get dropped in. As soon as he got dropped, he lost the round. He lost all momentum until the next round hit. That's the same thing with Shakur. The only thing is, I don't think Shakur has the chin that Devin Haney has. I don't think he has the heart that Devin Haney has. Because he already beat Ryan in the amateurs. Well, Devin lost to Ryan in the amateurs many times. They fought each other multiple times. They were 3-3 in the amateurs. That was for the tiebreaker. So he's lost before. Shakur's never lost to Ryan, right? So Shakur, there's nothing to really have heart for in this sense. He's going to have respect regardless. Devin Haney, on the other hand, he really needed to prove it. And so in this aspect, you got to think about it this way. Ryan Garcia is the more powerful guy. He has more speed. He's not a better pure boxer than Shakur or Devin. But what he does have is quick momentum shifts. He fights in spurts now. He didn't used to. He does now. So we're talking about the Ryan Garcia in this very moment in time. And this Ryan Garcia fights in spurts. And what he does, he stands there for most of the time, blocks a lot of jabs, and then when he fights in spurts out of nowhere, when it's least expected, he jumps on you. Throws combinations, throws you with hard power shots, or hits you with hard power shots, either a jab, a hook, a straight right, whatever the case may be. He's going to jump on Shakur. And when he jumps on Shakur, Shakur is not going to know what to do. He can back up all day long. As soon as he gets to the ropes, there's no more backing up, and he might get caught. And I understand Shakur has great timing and great defense, probably the best defensive fighter in the past 10 years. But the problem is, you're going to get hit. It's boxing. Ryan will clip Shakur at some point of this fight. regardless if it does damage, he will hit him. And if it doesn't do damage, Shakur should be fine. If it does damage and it's a hard enough shot, Shakur is going to be in trouble. And I think if Shakur gets dropped, he's going to get dropped again in that same exact round, and they're going to call it. So it's either Ryan Garcia wins in a 7th, 8th, or 9th round stoppage, or Shakur wins on the scorecard. And I don't think it'll be close. Ryan might win 2 or 3 rounds at best. So it's honestly a pretty easy fight to call. Very interesting on paper because of the names. It'll be a very big draw, very big attraction, and they'll make a lot of money from it. So I say do it. I think it's a great fight. I would call it one of the best fights in boxing, probably the biggest fight in boxing. Like I said, due to the circumstances in which we are in now, both of them coming off of elite, electrifying, one-sided affair performances, that makes sense to do that for the next fight. Even more than Shakur and Ben and Devin and Ryan. It makes so much more sense. I'm Daniel Sauls, the host of the Daniel Sauls Show, and I will be back with more videos for y'all very soon. If you want to watch the highlights from this video, go to my TikTok. Link is in the description down below. Click the link and watch the highlights from this episode. You will see it. Top-level highlights from yours truly, Daniel Sauls, and this electrifying show. I will have more videos for y'all as soon as possible. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and watching. Stay tuned for the next one.